Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to have a look very quickly at what you can do to future-proof your QS career with AI skills. Now, it should not be a surprise to many of you that there's a lot of, fear. There's a lot of uncertainty with some quantity surveyors, particularly those that are more of an administrative function or what I would traditionally call more technician quantity surveyors, that they are going to be replaced. Now, let's just focus on a little bit of mindset temporarily. If you're going to worry that you're going to be replaced, then there's a good chance that you will, because what you're doing is you're conditioning yourself for failure. So let's look at it from a different perspective and say, what can I do as a quantity surveyor if I'm fearful that I'm going to lose my job, which for the majority of QSs is not actually the case. And we will dive a little bit deeper into that as well during this presentation. But the question that you really need to be asking yourself is, if I am fearful, what do I need to do to secure my place by not being replaced by AI? And really the answer, there's loads of things that you can do to make yourself more upskilled, more attractive to employers, and to feel better about yourself in terms of how you can execute your functions with a lot more accuracy, with a lot more conviction. And the truth of it is, using AI is actually quite fun. So let's get into this presentation and go through it one by one, and hopefully you're going to get something from all of this. I would encourage you to watch all of the presentation. If you can't do it in one hit, then just make a note of where this video is, just save it to your favorites and come back to it and just pick up where you were from where you left off, because I think that the majority of you are going to find what is presented here quite useful. Okay, let's jump into it. Okay, so enough said. This is what we're here to discuss: future-proofing your QS career with AI skills. Okay, introduction. So, welcome firstly to AI for Quantity Surveyors. If you don't know what that's about, this is my own private community where QSs can come in and everything is dedicated to the use or application or just general descriptions around what is available for QSs in the AI space and how you can use it to leverage a better skill set for you and to add more value to either your clients or to your employer. So it's really just dedicated to helping you stay ahead in AI. And as I previously mentioned, we're going to be talking about this topic that is a worry for many of you. Future-proofing your QS career with AI skills. I keep saying it, very, very important for you to understand. Very, very high level. You are most likely not going to be replaced. So with the rapid rise of AI, though, and it's come a long way in the 2 years plus that many of you have only just started to digest. In actual fact, AI has been around for decades, but this is not the object of this presentation. How do I stay relevant? This is the question that some of you are going to be asking. Like anything else, CPD, you always have to keep up to date with current trends if you're going to be a successful quantity surveyor. That should, for the vast majority of you, should be obvious, and I don't say that in a negative way or a condescending way, but you should always be looking to maintain your professional standards with what is occurring with quantity surveying in the field of quantity surveying, year on year, month on month, every 6 months, whatever is most appropriate for you. So what skills do I need to learn? This is a very difficult question, but in this video, we're going to explore what I consider to be some essential. There's no real end to learning. You can go as deep into AI as you wish, but I'm going to just concentrate on those that each quantity surveyor should, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, you should master, and how these skills can keep you competitive in a rapidly evolving industry, how you can also, not the subject of this, but in further, if you join my community or are a member of my community, we will start to look at how you can declare this within your resume to attract more appetite from employers that you are AI ready and can make good value contributions to what you do. So if that sounds exciting, stick around, let's get going. I will have the aim of this whole video being around 15 minutes. And as I said a little while ago, if you can't stick for the whole thing, then just save it and drop back to it. I think watching all of it will be relevant. If you have the time, please watch until the end. Right. Why AI matters for QSs? You may be wondering that. So the construction industry has been undergoing a digital transformation. In actual fact, that's been for some time. If people look at BIM and the overall concept of introducing computers into the construction industry goes back decades. In actual fact, when I first started my career, it was a long time ago now, people were looking at digitized takeoffs back in the day. I remember as a student going to a industry like exhibition, and QSs were there, like looking at these digitized boards and thinking that all back then, decades ago, literally, that the QS was going to be replaced because now we had digital. Well, it never happened. All it happened is really digital transformation has made our life easier. That's the way you have to look at it. It's made us more efficient. It's reduced the ability of those people to make mistakes. And it's actually a good thing. So we don't need to worry about it from that perspective. So all of these things, as I mentioned, takeoffs, but more now, what I use it a lot for is really data analysis, statistical modeling, cost modeling, Monte Carlo simulations, all of that. It's extremely powerful, it's extremely quick, and more to the point, it's really, really accurate and saves hours in what you're trying to achieve. So increased speed and accuracy, just kind of alluded to that. Traditional takeoffs and estimates and other tasks, they can be time consuming and they can be prone to human error. AI tools, in the right way, they can handle tedious measurement tasks more swiftly, freeing you to focus on higher value analysis. So I use JavaScript, I use Python to create my own codes to achieve all of this largely from, say, PDF drawings. Yes, you have to fact check it, but it can go through iterations of this information way faster than we can, and more importantly, way more accurate than we can, provided you set it up for success. And we'll talk about that in other videos about how you prompt, how you get the most out of AI. Usual rules apply, garbage in, garbage out. You have to be very specific about what you want. So predictive insights. So AI can look at historical data to predict potential cost overruns and scheduling delays, for example. Early insights mean fewer nasty surprises down the road. So you don't have to think, you don't have to spend hours, you don't have to send emails requesting this information, that information from people. You can do it literally in a few minutes. Data-driven decisions. Clients today, they're demanding not just cost estimates, but also insights into things like sustainability, life cycle costing, risk mitigation. AI-driven analytics, they can deliver actionable data instantly. And one of the things that I'm working with a few companies now on is those that are in the disputes space. They have an enormous, during discovery, for example, an enormous amount of documents. We can now leverage AI to basically upload all of those documents and let AI determine what we want to know. We ask it specific questions and it can return exactly what we need with high accuracy in literally seconds rather than days that it would take a human to go through this documentation. Very, very effective. Competitive advantage, well, firms that integrate AI into their workflows, they're already outpacing those that do not. I know that to be true because I consult with a lot of individuals, corporate and individuals, and we see that when you're utilizing this at very powerful, high level, then it does make a difference to the way that your clients perceive you. So, by adopting these skills, you'll ensure that your role remains indispensable. And in actual fact, it can even create the distinction from those that are not aware of this type of thing. And the easiest kind of benchmark to that is to look at those people who are early adopters of BIM and being able to cost in the BIM environment. They are now commanding much better positions, generally higher rates of pay within organizations that do not understand how to do this. So there you go. Three, essential AI skills for quantity surveyors: data literacy and data management. This really is key. Even without AI, data is the core of what quantity surveyors do. And it's always been a problem, in my view, that quantity surveyors are not very good at documenting data or utilizing data. But really, when you go to the core of what a quantity surveyor is an expert in the cost of construction. Two things that are needed: you need to understand cost, which is driven by data, and you need to understand construction. Unfortunately, again, this is just my point of view, but in the modern day, the way that quantity surveying is taught, very few of the new quantity surveyors that come out of universities do not understand construction well enough, in my opinion, and therefore they struggle with the ability to be an expert in the cost of it. The two are very, very highly connected, but the good news is we can leverage AI to kind of bridge that gap a little bit. So, getting back to the component though, the fundamental skill should be literacy and data management. Data is really what we want to be encouraging AI to use and to give us the outputs. This is your ability to understand, interpret, and organize data so that AI tools can use it effectively. Now, if you start speaking to somebody in a different language than your native tongue, and that person is speaking your native tongue, chances are that other person is not going to understand what you are talking about. And it's exactly the same. The analogy is the same in AI. If you just give a prompt to AI expecting an intelligent answer, and the way that you have prompted it is far from intelligent, then guess what? You will not get an intelligent response. It's so important to understand. So it's only as good as the data that it's fed, like everything else. If your measurements, drawings, or cost codes are not well organized, even the best AI software, it's going to struggle with it. Generally, it will deliver inaccurate results, and then people are going to say, AI doesn't work. Well, no, AI works perfectly well. The problem is the person who is using it. Practical tips: use consistent naming conventions for files and cost codes. This should really be the bread and butter of a good QS anyway. Not to say that you're a bad one if you don't adopt it, but just try and get into the habit of doing it. Keep spreadsheets clean. No merge cells, formatting. AI doesn't really care for all of that. It's only looking for the data. It wants to use the data to return to you a great result. That's all it's interested in. It has no emotions or any of that. It doesn't care. Right. Learn basic database principles: tables, queries, relationships. It's easy to learn. You can, if you want, you have a small budget, Udemy, although those courses in my view are not particularly great. YouTube, generally free, not particularly good. People are only telling you part of the story. Or you can go deeper and get into even places like Harvard these days are offering free courses on data. Just explore, find something on LinkedIn. If you're a premium member, they have lots of learning components on there. There's ways to find this information. If you're watching this on YouTube, for example, and you don't know me, come and join the AI community. We'll be building all of this. You can learn it within there, and I won't be just giving you small snippets. I'll be giving you the whole rundown. Okay, so by mastering these data basics, you lay a very solid foundation, which is essential in my view for any AI integration into your QS workflow. Simple as that. Right. Understanding machine learning fundamentals. Now, I'm starting to get a little bit into the more in depth components of AI, but you still need to understand this. So, let's talk a little bit about machine learning fundamentals. And you don't have to become an expert, you don't have to become an engineer, but you should grasp, at least at a very high level, how algorithms learn from data. Regression, classification, clustering, for example, overfitting and underfitting, and why balanced data matters. You should have an understanding of what you're trying to achieve, in other words. So, model validation, accuracy, precision, and other performance metrics. If at high level you have an understanding of how this data is going to be processed, then you have a better chance of being able to give AI a best chance of delivering you the best results. Knowing these basics help you evaluate AI tools critically. If you understand how an AI model is trained, you can spot when it's likely to fail or need more data. Again, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to go and do a degree in machine learning. You just need to understand the high level principles of how data works. So you'll be able to communicate more effectively with technical experts, ensuring you get the results you need in your cost estimates or life cycle cost, whatever you're going to utilize it for. High level understanding, that's what I'm promoting, not detailed. You can get into that if you have an interest in it. By all means, go as deep as you wish, but a high level understanding of machine learning will serve you very well. Right, AI-powered takeoff and estimation tools. So one of the most practical AI skills for QSs is using AI-powered takeoff and estimating tools. Now, I'm not necessarily an advocate of BOQs. I think there's way better ways of working around all of that. But the fact of the matter is price and schedule BOQs, whatever, they are still very, very commonly used as a way of breaking down cost of documentation. So we now have tools like Togal.AI, which is actually an American system. It's a startup, very cute bit of software. Plan-Swift AI, I'm really not a fan of Plan-Swift at all, but I know a lot of people are using it, so I do mention that, or custom-based solutions that are quickly becoming industry standard. So, just on that note, my preference for automated software measurement is Costex. So, just to put that on the table, I've been using it ever since it came out, which is a long time ago now. I knew the original owner of it before he sold, and it's just got better day by day by day. It is an awesome bit of software, and cost-wise, it's comparable to PlanSwift, and it does so much more. What to learn? I'm not affiliated with Costex, by the way. I just am a very big fan of it because it does more than anyone would expect. What to learn? Navigating the software interface, import drawings, set scales, define measurement parameters, interpreting AI-generated quantities, and verifying them against manual checks. Now, I've actually tested and worked with even just uploading PDFs into a large language model, which is like a ChatGPT or a Claude. And if you prompt it correctly and you test it correctly and you challenge it correctly, it actually produces really, really good results. So you can do it essentially under any free subscription. You just have to become very accustomed to how to prompt. Never assume that it's correct. Always challenge it. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, and always do some little fact checks to confirm that you are happy with it. Once you're happy with it, it'll give you everything that you need on that basis as well. But it's always best, particularly if you're working for a company or even if you're on your own and you're using automated software, get the best that you can afford. It will, it's a return on investment. Don't skimp on things like that when you are trying to ply your trade. So integrating results directly into your BRQ or your pricing schedule, whatever you're using, depending on the form of procurement, what country you're in, etc. Lots of different options. And learning these tools will drastically cut down on tedious measurements, letting you focus on cost strategy and client consultations, which is way more valuable, and your clients will appreciate it a lot more as well. Right, data analytics and visualizations. So this is going to be things like Power BI, Tableau, etc. It's another crucial area. So again, you don't have to go deep in dive into Power BI and things like that. Google Studio is the equivalent of the Microsoft Power BI. Look, they're all really great tools, but you don't need to be an expert. You need to have a broad understanding of what they do. And even really, the best AI system can produce those results that are hard to interpret if they're not presented well. So it's visual. Visual is really important, even outside of the construction space and quantity surveying. The whole Google these days is all around customer experience and how people see things. And we should be thinking the same when we're trying to get our point across and when we're trying to share the results of our outputs. Put yourself in the position of the person that's reading it. Doesn't make sense. It might make sense to us because we do it day in, day out. But do our clients understand it? Do they appreciate it? Would they like to see it in a different way? All really important things. So interactive dashboards for real-time cost tracking. These can be generated by AI. It's just even asking them to write and prompting code, and we can then take that code and put it into whatever is going to interpret that code, and we'll get into that in other videos. Particularly if you're into my community, I'm going to be sharing lots of things around Python, JavaScript, React, and React is basically a JavaScript easier interface. We're going to deal with all of those type of things. Okay, sorry, got a little bit delayed by going back there, but automated alerts, visualizations that keep stakeholders understand complex data at a glance, automated alerts when costs exceed thresholds, etc., etc. By mastering these tools, you'll transform raw data into clear, compelling visuals, making your estimates, reports, whatever type of data that you want to use, making it more persuasive and easier to act upon. Right. Large language processing for document analysis. So we handle as QSs lots and lots of documents. For example, contracts, specs, invoices, emails. This is where NLP can step in. So contract analysis, just examples. There's many, but just think about how it can be used. AI can scan legal documents, highlight risk clauses, and suggest modifications. Okay, it can act as a lawyer. You can even prompt it to say act as bum bum bum, and it will respond accordingly. It's very, very powerful. Spec review. Use NLP to quickly find relevant sections in lengthy specifications. Yes, you can open a PDF and do a word search, but is it going to give you full context? You can prompt AI to give you full context. You can prompt AI to get a whole ream of stuff that you can't do on a word search. Very, very powerful if you prompt it correctly. Email triage, automated categorization of emails, ensuring cost relation issues don't get lost. Again, yeah, you can search. If you're using Outlook, most people are using Outlook, or if you're personal, you've got Gmail. Yeah, you can search, but is it giving you the in-depth context that you need? Probably not. AI can handle all of this. Understanding basic NLP capabilities, it helps you automate the reading and interpretation of large text data sets, saving you hours of manual review. In another video that I'm going to talk outside of this presentation, I'm also going to share, again for members in my community, a software called Obsidian. It's free unless you use it for commercial purposes, and even then it's only $50 a year. I say only, but if you're using it for commercial purposes, $50 shouldn't be a problem for you. And this is a real good piece of kit where you can put all your documents in and just categorize them and search and test. We'll get into that, but it's really doing all this stuff for you. It's saving you lots of time, making you more efficient. This is the key. Okay, number 6, BIM integration and 5D modeling. For those that are not aware, if you're costing with BIM and being asked as a service to do all of that, 5D is your costing component, 4D is your program, 5D is your cost modeling. Now, in order for this to be effective, there has to be a whole load of understanding from the design team around coding and everything else. Not going to get into that now. That's way beyond the parameters of this presentation. But safe to say that BIM revolutionized the way that we visualize building projects. It goes back a long time, but now 5D integrates cost and schedule data. AI can track real-time changes in the design model and automatically update your cost analysis. What to focus on: understanding BIM software like Revit, Navisworks, Tekla, Costex, learning how AI plugins retrieve these material quantities and costs automatically. You really have to study this if you're going to be working and an expert in the 5D BIM environment. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Simple as that. Collaborating with BIM managers to refine cost parameters, mastering this skill ensures that you always have the latest cost data and reduce the risk of budget surprises. But you do need a high level of coordination and need to understand all the nuances of the BIM categories and how you ensure that your data is not only compatible with the BIM but can export it to the BQ or scheduling document that you're working in. In most cases, you need an interfacing piece of software to be able to do that. Right, cloud and collaboration tools. With remote work and global collaboration on the rise, knowledge of cloud and collaboration tools is a must. in the modern day. Forget AI. This is also a given. You should be knowing this right now. So, cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, host AI services that power advanced analytics without needing on premise infrastructure. So, collaboration suites, Microsoft Teams, Slack, Asana, for example, they integrate with AI bots, enabling real time notification for cost changes, for example. If you can navigate these environments comfortably, you'll collaborate more efficiently and harness these AI tools that reside in the cloud. 3.8, continuous learning and adaptability. So I alluded to this earlier in the presentation. You really need to establish this as key, continuing CPD. It's constantly evolving. There's new algorithm tools, best practices emerge, even regulatory, if you're in certain places like California, for example, and in Europe, then you'll need to stay updated with these industry webinars and courses on AI in construction. Regularly experiment with new tools. Don't just take my word for everything. Go and fact check your own things and see which align with either your firm's workflow or what you want to achieve as a high level concept. Collect feedback from the project stakeholders and refine the approach. Always just keep testing and refining. A proactive, growth orientated mindset ensures that your skills never become outdated. 4, next step and practical applications. We're coming to the end now, so please bear with me. We've still got some good stuff to cover. I've gone over the time that I thought I wanted to spend on this, but I think it's important for you. Right, so how do you put these skills into practice? Here's a few suggestions. Enroll in targeted AI courses. Udemy, Coursera, specialized QS training programs that focus on AI, including joining my AI for QS community. If you want a link, it's in the description of this video. Attend industry events and webinars. Network with peers who have successfully integrated AI into their QS roles. Find people who are already where you want to be. Learn from them. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. I learned this a long, long time ago. If you want to be in the place that someone is already in, learn from them. Mentorship is by far the fastest way to ascend to where you want to be. They've already suffered all of the pain that you will go through if you try and replicate. That's why it's extremely powerful. And that's why you should seek mentorship or collaborate with data scientists, QSAI specialists. Team up with tech-savvy professionals. They can guide you on machine learning and data analytics. Team up with QSAI experts who are already either significantly experienced or they're going through the journey. I'm still going through the journey. I consider myself, very knowledgeable on the subject, an expert compared to many, but it's still a daily learning process, and that's the way that you have to think of it. Nobody knows everything. So, prototype small AI projects. Work a bit at a time on developing your skills. Try an AI-based takeoff tool on a pilot project and track improvements in speed and accuracy. Test it, test, refine, test. By gradually incorporating these steps, you'll be well on your way to becoming an AI-savvy QS. Right, conclusion. We're nearly there, folks, and I appreciate if you're still with me. I appreciate that you have learned, hopefully, something, and I want to thank you for getting this far. Most people will have dropped off by now, but if you are still here, kudos, and that means that you're really interested in learning about this, and follow me for more because I'm going to give you a lot more value around this subject. So, the essential AI skills that will keep you competitive and relevant as a QS. From data literacy to machine learning basics and cloud collaboration, these are all the building blocks for future-proofing your QS career. So if you found it valuable, please like it, subscribe, turn on the notifications, all that other good stuff so that you won't miss an update. I promise to keep adding as much value as I can around these subjects. We're going to cover a lot of things. They might be a bit kind of random. They're going to be generated as I think of things or experimenting with things that I feel that other QSs will not need to understand. But would benefit from understanding what I've gone through. And this is really why I've generated this channel and the community, so that we can get this knowledge out to others so that they can start implementing as well. So if you've got any questions or you want to share your experience with AI tools, please drop a comment. The more the merrier. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's always good to hear what other people are doing. I've had lots of people reach out to me and share that they're working with JavaScript, they're working with Python, they're experimenting with all different manner of things. Really, really great to see. The more that we can learn and share together, the better for the industry. That's my thoughts. So thanks for watching, and until next time, just stay curious, stay innovative, and keep shaping the digital future of construction cost management. And above all, be true to yourself and don't be fearful. Embrace all the changes and make yourself a better QS in the process. See you in the next one.